Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in it together.
I like that.
Adam, get out of my head. Adam in the chat room, he said, because we're all in this together.
Wow. Well, did he hear it first or did he say it first?
No, I don't know. As soon as I went back to, hi everyone, the listeners later, I'm sorry, I'm Emily, and my co-host is John. I'm sorry, this is just so bizarre that Adam in the chat room knew exactly what I was changing the intro to.
That is amazing. You guys are on the same wavelength.
We are. Ooh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Big news. We have, yes, everyone, we now have voicemail. If you'd like to call in, hold on. Here we go. That's right. Hate to Wait voicemail, 760-946-6464. Call in now. What do you think?
Who is that? Is that you? Is that Radio John? Is that John Jamingo?
That was John Jamingo.
I'm so impressed.
Sorry. Well, you do live stuff. I wanted to do something.
What sorry? Why sorry? I love it.
Okay, wait. I have another one because you know how sometimes phone numbers are, you can like take letters and put them in with phone numbers? So
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Our Hate to Wait call-in number is 760-WHO-MINI? Call in now.
You know what our voicemail number spells out, right? You know I did that on purpose, right?
What does it spell out?
760-WINNING.
Really?
Yeah!
Call into the Hate to Wait voicemail, 760-WINNING. Call in now.
Oh, this is my favorite show ever. This makes me so happy.
Yeah, so call in.
Yeah, call in.
After all that.
I know. We set that up so that we could get voicemail from people if they're on the run and they have a scale victory or a non-scale victory they want to tell us about. And by the way, Winning Wednesday isn't just Wednesdays. You don't have to do it just on Wednesdays if you want to post in the group or call a voicemail, whatever. And we get that voicemail. I send it off to John, and John has it queued up ready to go.
Yes, he does.
So excited.
Yes, so we have some for later. Also, how was your week?
Well, after that, my week was interesting. Do you want to talk about your week first? I feel like I've been going first lately.
Okay, let's do that.
Well, okay.
So this week has been crazy for me because I'm doing a daily podcast show on the app that is called Castbox. Thank you. And what I normally do is I wake up in the morning and I take my whooshy pill. And then everything whooshies out. So about like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Well, with this show, I can't. It's an hour show. It's live. So I just can't dart to the bathroom. So I stopped taking the whooshy pill. And I feel bloated right now. So I got on a scale I took it, Saturday, Sunday. Didn't take it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I got on a scale this morning. Yesterday, I started feeling a little bloated. I could tell because my pants, the bottom of my pant legs get tight because my legs are swollen. So when I got on the scale this morning, we'll talk about that later, I was a little shocked, to be quite honest with you. We talked about this, Emily and I are in a mastermind. We talked about this on Tuesday. The last time we were in the mastermind, I was saying to everybody, I got to take and give up some things to get more time back. Well, I did. But then all of a sudden, it's like I emptied the cup and then the cup started filling up again. My issue is that I come down here and then, I eat breakfast after we get done and then I work, and I don't eat again until late at night. So my intermittent fasting's messed up. So I got to figure out how to get that back in. So there's been a wealth of things that are going on, like when the life changes. I had a schedule, then life came on, ruined my schedule. And I was like, instead of getting upset and saying, oh, well, I'm just going to give up this because I don't want to give up this. So I'm just trying to straighten my schedule out again. It'll take about a week. I'm working back into it again.
Look at how easy that is for you. Do you see that? You were just like, it's okay. I'm off schedule. I'm going to work it back in. That's amazing.
Because there's no other choice. There is no other choice right now.
Yeah.
One thing I did have to do, which I didn't like to do, was I had to cancel my appointment to go to the nutritionalist because that live show is like right in the middle of the day for me. It's at 1:00. So I had to cancel and then reschedule. But I was all excited because I had lost weight, So when I went there, I was ready to go. And then I wish I would have went, to be quite honest with you. But now I have to make it at a later date. Again, just making adjustments. It'd be great if we could just schedule our day and say, oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that because I'm scheduled to eat in the next 15 minutes. But it just doesn't seem to work out that way.
Yeah.
Stephanie in the chat says, when you're on after you cut out sweeteners, you have to cut out sweeteners when you're fasting.
Yeah, that includes anything that's 0 calories, like flavored seltzer, even if it's even if it's unsweetened flavored seltzer, it has that flavor, and even though it's 0 calories, because the taste receptors on your tongue, and of course we're not doctors or scientists, these are things that I'm regurgitating from the Intermittent Fasting podcast and Jen Stevens, who I followed and read her book Delay Don't Deny. When it hits your tongue, they actually found in studies in lab rats that it sends a signal to your brain to release insulin, which messes up your fasting. During fasting, your insulin isn't released. It gives your body a chance to relax and digest everything without insulin coming in and doing its thing.
And then the other thing is you can't burn fat when your body is producing insulin. That's
right.
Another thing. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I read things.
Right. And we've had a few requests for our resources that we have. And I think I put it live on our site, hatetowait.com. There is a tab now when you go to our site, you'll see the description of our show and then links on the bottom. And one of them is resources. And I think it's just a page with what I used to start intermittent fasting and the videos that John used to start keto. And now you're going for bariatric surgery. So if you have any resources for that people can read about, actually we have Michelle in the group, so I'll ask her for her resources.
Right. And then there's a great podcast that we could put in there, the weight loss surgery podcast with a friend of mine, Rieger Cortell.
Yeah. You know what? This is so great because when I'm writing the show notes later, so some behind the scenes, I'll be getting these links anyway because we're talking about them on the show. So I'll just throw it over there on the resources page and I'll link to that in the show notes.
And one of the things about the videos that I watch, the YouTube videos, and the guy's really, really good about intermittent fasting. He explains it in a very sensible way to me. But he's a doctor and he sells a lot of products. And I'm just going to say that I have bought his products, but I'm not endorsing them. I've bought them. I've tried them. They've worked for me. But, just staying in we're not hawking products, where he's not an affiliate link. He's not a sponsor, but, his stuff, I've used it and it seems to work. So if you go over there, he has great information on a lot of different things. I just don't want you to think that I'm trying to, look at him now. Look at him. He's trying to sell us stuff. Nope.
I know. We're not in it to sell stuff.
No.
Actually, some of our links, anything on Amazon, are affiliate links. I'll say that up front. And that actually helps defer the cost of hosting the podcast because we're not doing this. We don't have products to sell for weight loss because we can't endorse a product. At least I can't endorse a product of saying this helped me lose weight. It's more just like research and learning and asking questions and being in a group and having support. Like we can't market that really.
But he does have really good videos. And I learned a lot about intermittent fasting and different things that were affecting me through him. So that's why when you ask me which, what do I watch or what do I do? I don't read. I listen and I watch. I don't read.
You skim. Oh, you read in 280 character limits.
Maybe. Yes.
Because that's Twitter.
Yes, Twitter. Yes. That's about what I do. And sometimes I don't even get through those.
The headline's enough.
Well, I struggle with it because I guess it's the ADD and I don't know what it is, but I know that I'm a visual learner now. So it's like, Oh, wait a minute. There's instructions. There has to be a video. And I throw them in the trash or I do whatever, and I go to look for videos because to me, that's how I learn.
Yeah. I think the audio helps too. You're probably also an audio learner if you're a podcaster.
Yes, I am. No, that's absolutely true. If you tell me something, like, here it is. If you really want me to learn fast, show me. If you don't have time and tell me, okay. But if you send me something to read, it's going to take a while. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So,
makes sense.
yeah. So, and I think as far as I get back to my week again, everything seems to be off kilter. But again, I didn't go out and binge. I was in a group the other day and I said, hey, listen, I haven't had a chance to eat yet. It's like 10 o'clock. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Do I wait till tomorrow or do I grab something to eat? And I did. I went and grabbed something to eat because, I didn't eat all day. So then I'm breaking the fast at that time. So why wait another? I'm just breaking the fast. I had a lot of time between then. And then the next day I just took that time and added it to my other time and ate later in the day, which was fine. And I just walked it back an hour. But for some reason, when I lock into work and when I'm working and doing stuff, I don't even think about food. But then when I get done and I'm like, okay, it's done. I'm hungry. Yeah, I have that problem.
I'm wondering, because I've sort of fit my eating window around the time when I can't really work because it's between the hours that I have to be watching my son and I can't pay attention to much at work. And I usually, I work when I'm out of my window. And that's how I've set it up. So I'm wondering, maybe you can change yours around?
Even if they wanted me to eat, like I could do that in the morning.
Yeah.
Where they want me to eat right away. It's nice because you wake up and you want coffee. Like me, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, coffee.
Yeah, and I've also heard that starting your fast earlier in the day, you actually find more success doing that. For me, it's like, no, I kind of like waking up and because I wake up and I'm not hungry, I feel like I can go longer than if I woke up and ate and then had to stop myself at something like 3:00 in the afternoon. I'd be like, no, there's a lot of day left.
Well, I was trying to do the 18-6. For some reason, that seems to be, I'm always on the outside of that. So I think if I just went and did the 16-8, I would be better. So if I started at 9:00, that gets me till like 5, I think, or 6. Am I doing 2 + 2 = chicken again?
I don't know.
Yes, podcast math.
Podcast math, 2 + 2 = chicken. I'm going to make a shirt one day that just says that.
Yeah, and then someone say, what's that about? Podcast math, 2 + 2 = chicken. Hey, Mark, get on that.
Our friend Mark, who designed shirts for us. By the way, when John says 18-6 and 16-8, that means 18 hours of fasting and then a window of 6 hours where he can eat. And then 16 is 16 hours and 8 is the 8 hours of that too. And for about a year, I've been doing 16-8. And for the past week or two, I'm down to 18-6. And I think my body likes this. My body likes this change. And I love feeling hunger again. It's so weird that I love feeling like, oh yeah, this is hunger. I'm glad I'm reminding myself of this.
Oh, hunger to me is the worst feeling.
I think it's a weird celebration thing that I'm doing. Like, okay, I've never until maybe college when I was actually doing starvation diets, I didn't know what hunger felt like. And at that point, hunger was like, that's right, you deserve this hunger. But now it's like hunger is like, it's okay because I know exactly when I'm going to eat. And when that window opens up for me, I have such a freedom to choose. And I love that.
Yeah, now hunger, I hate it. Yeah, it's a thing in my chest and it makes me feel weak. And I just feel weak when I'm like really, really hungry. I can't stand it. And water doesn't usually do anything for it. Like someone says, I'll drink some water, it'll go away. It's like I'm bloated and now bloated and hungry.
You know what makes it worse for me is coffee. Coffee always makes my hunger worse.
Yeah, the caffeine drives it. Absolutely. Yeah, caffeine will drive it too. That's another thing I don't do is I don't drink diet soda or I don't drink coffee if I'm hungry. I have to go get something to eat, which really makes me nervous about this liquid diet. Although there will be protein shakes in there. I'm going to be a bear. I'm going to be a nasty
bear.
Growling bear.
Ooh, there, nasty bear. Hey there, nasty bear.
Yes. Absolutely. I don't even.
If I sing that to you, will you laugh still?
I don't know.
If you're in the throes of hunger.
I don't know. So that is honestly, that is my most nerve-wracking point of like, they're going to go, okay, now you can't eat for 2 weeks. You can only drink protein shakes and eat something. Now, Michelle said, you should take, and she's right. And I haven't done it because
Michelle's in our group. She's had the bariatric surgery before. So
she said you should try to just take and start with one meal, which is a liquid meal, and then maybe go to 2, and then it won't be that big of a deal. We'll see. But I'm trudging on.
Yeah. You're going.
I can't wait. Going. I'm now psyched. I'm actually now psyched to get this done because I'm done feeling like this. And I want to go do I see people, another member of our group, Dave, he was out in Utah hiking.
Yeah.
And he was walking around and I saw all these things that he was taking pictures with. And I was like, that's amazing. I wish I could do that one day.
Yeah.
So now I can't do that yet.
Exactly. We were talking before the show. One of the things that I'm working on with my daughter, who's going into 3rd grade, is they're working on her confidence. And so when she tries something and she doesn't get it right away, she gets really frustrated. She doesn't want to do it. And her teacher started reframing it to say, it's not that you can't do it. It's that you can't do it yet. So I learned that and I was like, oh my gosh, 36-year-old me needs this so bad. It's not that I can't do it. I can't do it yet.
That's true. So what about you?
Well, on my other podcast, The Story Behind, I posted a message on the Facebook page and I posted it to Twitter and Instagram. And it was saying, the episodes have been sort of intermittent. There's a lot going on. I have travel coming up. I'm helping with the She Podcast Live conference. I'm so excited for that. And I'm working really hard on that. But it means I had to take a step back, not just the conference, but a lot of travel things. But it meant I needed to take a step back from my main podcast for a while. And that was tough. That was really tough for me to say. And I wanted to kind of comfort myself with food. It's been a long time of like, oh, well, maybe I'll just put out one more episode and then take my break. And I was like, no, it's getting to be too much. And right now, I didn't mention this in the post on The Story Behind, but because I feel like this group, I mean, we're a deep group. I mean, we talk about weight loss. We talk about things in our past, our personal lives that I haven't opened up about before. And so right now with my mom, she's in the hospital and she's been in there for almost a month. And this is because of her bipolar. She's been on medication for about 40 years, so since her 20s. And right now her liver, they're worried about the toxicity of it. And so my aunt's telling me this, and she could either be perfectly fine or it could be something worse. So we don't know, and they're doing tests and stuff. But the problem was they had to take her completely off her medication. And my mom hasn't been completely off medication for bipolar in many years. And when she was off the medication, it wasn't pretty. So I don't know what's going on with that. And seeing my mom, it's like now I have to choose between, do I want to see my mom without her medication, where she's really going to be all over the place? And the weird thing is, I'm used to seeing that. But the more I tell other people who haven't gone through that, they're like, they don't understand. And they haven't seen somebody who's bipolar and what happens when you go to them and try to talk, and they're jumping in all the different directions of something reminds them of this or something reminds them of that. And they want to say it all. And I also have to choose between that, where she's off her medication, or when she's on her medication and we don't have a great relationship. So I had to let a few things go. And one of the things that really helped me was actually this podcast, because as my aunt was telling me all these things that's going on with my mom and what we're looking at with her, then she goes, and when they did the test, they found a fatty liver. And all of a sudden, because of like how like brought down I was, as soon as she said fatty liver, I had to mute the phone because I would start cracking up thinking about our show. And it's like, wait, I know what a fatty liver is.
Yeah, I have a fatty liver.
And it was like, I needed that sort of comic relief of thinking back to the show and thinking back to your support, John, and the support in the group. And I'm just like, okay, it sort of dawned on me, like, whatever happens, it'll happen. And I have the support system that I didn't have before I started podcasting. And so, yeah, that's been my week. Food-wise, I've stuck to the 18-6 window. And one of the things I noticed was, even with all of this, I didn't want to run to food for comfort. It wasn't the comfort that used to be there, maybe as a substitute for my mom or my parents or my relationships with them. It wasn't food that I ran to. It was like, it's okay. I have people that will help me go through that. So thank you, Jennifer, in the chat. She's like, says, been through that very rough situation. Patience. Absolutely. Patience. Woo.
So when I was growing up, one of my best friends, there was 3 brothers. I was friends with all 3 of them. They were right in my age group. And their mother was bipolar. And every once in a while, they called it her medicine screwed up. I had no idea what bipolar was. I had no idea what her medicine screwed up was. And I remember we were like 18, and their father had been away for 2 weeks, and she went off her meds. And I walk in the house, and I knew something was up right away, and she's saying stuff. And I said to Dave, my friend, I said, what's going on? He said, her medication screwed up. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so then he started explaining to me, and I said, we need to take her to the hospital. And she's like, and he's like, she won't go. And I said, you don't ask her. Watch here. I said, come on, Mrs. P, get up, get your coat. We're going to go to the hospital. I don't want to go to the hospital. I know, I don't want to go either, but we're going. Come on, get your coat. We got her coat. We got her in a car. We took her to the hospital. We explained everything. And then, they put her in there, and she was like a couple weeks in there, and then she came out. But it was the first time I ever seen anything like that. And it's a whole different person.
Yeah.
It's a whole different person. So my heart goes out to you. Now, that being said, I also saw, because this has been going on so long, I also saw videos of you doing yoga still, and videos of you staying on track, and video of you still living your life. And so that is very hard to do when you have something this emotional with your parents going on. So congratulations. Thank you for sharing, because everybody thinks that they can't share things like this, because like, look at Emily's life, and she's got all this going on, and everybody has good things and bad things. Yeah. And it's how we handle it. And, like I said, I hope things work out, as far as what's going on with that. But you always have support here, more than you know, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. I think this has been one of the greatest hobbies I could have ever picked up, is podcasting, and not just the podcasting part. Like, that's such a small percentage of why it's so important. It's really the community and the people and the support that I actually feel. And it's one of those things before the internet, it was like, I didn't know anybody else who had a mom who was bipolar, who it's like, people would see one side of my mom and be like, I don't know why she has such a bad relationship with her. But I would see the other side. And a lot of it, I have to, it's one of those things that I'm learning now. It's like, a lot of that was the disease. A lot, like, that's not your mom. That's not the essence of your mom that loves you. It's just really hard to see past that sometimes.
Well, with my friend, what he used to get annoyed with, he says, when the child becomes the parent, and that's what he used to get annoyed with. So I definitely understand it, and used to say it, and it's hard, with me, I could come in and talk to her, and, and then I would leave, and it wasn't my problem. But for him, he was dealing with it all the time.
When you have that emotional connection as well, you're dealing with it all the time, but you have the emotional connection too, because it's your mom. Children are naturally programmed to go to their mom for comfort.
Absolutely, yeah. And sometimes you can't because of the disease. No, I 100% get it. So sorry you're going through all this.
Yeah.
But kudos to the fact that you didn't let it tear you down and then go back to something that was more destructive, that you would hate yourself for later.
And that's one thing I'm thinking, it's starting to really dawn on me that one of these times my mom's going to be in the hospital for a long time and she may not be coming out. And it started dawning on me of all the things that she's going through now, that many of her health problems don't necessarily have anything to do with being bipolar, but it could have had something to do with her weight, which in turn could be because of bipolar. I don't know. Like, there are so many different factors of that. And it's really hard for me to sort of know any other way. So when I see Mark with his mom, I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand this sort of, you want to call your mom, you hug your mom every time you see her. And we see her like once a day almost. And he's like, yeah. So I don't know. It's just really interesting to sort of see all these things and start to realize now that, you know, I didn't have the quote unquote normal childhood that my parents and my mom especially like wanted everybody to think that we had. So it's really, I don't know. It's weird.
No, I get it. And like I
Yeah.
said, it's tough. I lost my father this, matter of fact, next month it'll be 19 years. It'll be 19 years.
Wow.
And he was the same size as me. And he had a heart attack, I guess. We don't know. No one ever really told us. But he just seized up and dropped. That was it. It was like a wheeze and a thud. And then my mother, it was just this last week, it was just 2 years. And with my mom, she found out she had cancer, but she did the whole thing where she ignored the signs.
Yeah.
And then when she finally, it was too late. So we had about a month with her. And she was down in Georgia she was South Carolina, but then my sister moved her into Georgia, you know, and then my sister had to deal with all that. And I was up here and I couldn't get down there, you know, mostly because I was, you know, basically housebound. And even though now that you're going through this, I would just say give yourself grace and handle it the way you can handle it and don't beat yourself up because I'm sure there's a lot of that going on too.
Yeah, there's that. And I look at my daily habits of I want to do yoga every day and I want to drink 4 bottles of water every day. And I look at those and I'm like, should I be worried about the fact that I'm hitting these goals? But the thing is, when I hit those goals every day, I don't know, it proves to myself that I'm stronger than I thought I was, because part of me, that tiny little voice is just like, you're going to give up. Like, it's just inevitable. You've given up every other time. And then there's another part of me that's like, yeah, but what if I don't this time? What if I don't?
You know what? Honestly, and I know you can do this because I've heard you, but you just tell that voice, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
All right? Fuck you. I'm not giving up this time. You know, you've been around here and you've been making me doubt myself and you've been giving me a chance to quit. And right now, just hit the bricks.
I have to put a video in the Facebook group, or I'll put a link in the show notes as well. It's this skit from MadTV I saw last week because I was actually looking up this marketing term called pattern interruption. And they showed this skit of MadTV, and Bob Newhart made a cameo as a psychologist because that's what Bob Newhart does when he comes onto a show. And the woman who's, I think, Mo Collins, and she's sitting there like, well, I have this problem. I'm afraid of being buried alive and buried in a box. And all of a sudden, and the price for the therapy session's really cheap. He's like, oh, it's $1 a minute up to about 25 minutes. And after that, it's free. And she's like, that's crazy low. And he's like, most people don't need more than 10. And so she's talking about her problems. All of a sudden, Bob Newhart is like, okay, I need you to stop it. And she's just sitting there like, wait, what? And he's like, stop it. And she's like, yeah, but I'm worried about being buried in a box. And I think it goes back to, he's like, no, we don't go there. Stop it.
Right.
So that's what's been playing in my head lately is Bob Newhart, who's like, it's perfect of him just saying, stop it.
I'm glad you got a chance to see that because that's one of his classic bits from like the 60s where.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is. He's done that before. So, yeah. So now that he actually redid the bit, but that's the same thing where he would come in and lady would walk in and sit down and she would say, yeah, I have this. And he's like, yeah, just stop it. Just stop it. And she's like, well, no, stop it. And exactly the same. He's one of my favorite comedians. Absolutely favorite comedians because he's so simple and so simplistic.
Yes. Yes. And that's what that's the voice I need in my head of either stop it or just do it. Just either Nike or Bob Newhart.
Yeah. Well, again, I always say we have the angel and the devil on our shoulders, and the devil sees the cracks.
Yeah.
And the devil's like, well, now I can start winning again. And that you need somebody else to just come in and just shoo him away.
And say, stop it.
Yeah,
and I think Bob Newhart is my perfect little voice in there. Can we get Bob Newhart on the soundboard?
I will.
Okay.
Stop it!
That's my favorite inner voice now is Bob Newhart. Also, I have a challenge for you as a podcast editor.
Uh-oh.
Is get some audio of Bob Newhart and take out all the stutters.
Ooh.
Challenge. Well, I want to see if it still sounds like him.
It doesn't. So, this is, okay. So I'm going to tell a little podcasting story. So I had a client who had a doctor come on and was doing the interview, and he stutters. He stutters really bad. And I spent 5 or 6 hours taking out all the stuttering. And I sent the audio out, and he's like, who is this? This isn't me. Put that back in again.
Yeah.
You can't do that to me. If someone, that's horrible. I can't believe you just did that. And I was like, what do I know? Yeah.
He makes sense because if you heard Bob Newhart without that stutter, you'd be like, no, that's weird. Bizarro Bob Newhart.
Well, I take my stuttering out in the live show. I stutter. I realize that when I do my editing, I take my own stutter out a lot of time.
But I don't notice. I think because it's live. I don't think people notice when it's live, but I think they notice more in audio when our voices are all they're listening to, which is why podcasts are so incredibly intimate. It's such an experience. I don't know.
Absolutely, because it's just you and that person, and you're
Yeah.
talking to them. All right, so there's a lot of inspiration there.
Yeah, John is just...
Well, you too.
Well, you have the whole Johnspiration.
Well-
Johnspiration!
Okay.
We do have a jingle for John.
Now I have to go pull it and put music to it. All right.
Yeah.
How about we get into some Winning Wednesdays?
Let's do that.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
Hi, John and Emily. This is Tamara from Lemoore, California, which is in the Central Valley of California. I'm just calling to say how excited I am that you guys have a voicemail. So now that's another way for listeners to get in contact with you. Felt I should call so that I could settle the big debate between you and John. So my name is Tamara. So think Tamara, Tamara, also known as T-Rex, Hey You, all those work. So I look forward to hearing more episodes of the podcast, and you both have a great day. Bye.
Yep. See, there we go. And yes, you could also call in. And how do you call in? Well, just call the Hate to Wait voicemail line 760-WINNING. Call now.
You just turned that around in a whole episode. John, I'm so impressed with you. By the way, the link for John to be your podcast editor is always in the show notes. Just because look at that. That's amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So let's get...
And thank you, Tamara.
You have me blushing, so stop it.
Okay. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for calling in and settling that bet. And we're going to hear from Tamara later in the show.
It's another Winning Wednesday.
Yeah, Winning Wednesday. So our first one is from Jason. Down a pound, 0.2 more with 3.2 of a new lower second number for the first time in 6 years. Whoop, whoop.
Marty says, I fit into a brand new pair of pants I bought at Costco. You can't try them on there. I couldn't button them a week ago. Yeah.
Ooh. Jennifer says low carb, high fat, and intermittent fasting is working for me. Down 5.6 pounds and feeling great. Wow.
Scott says, for a non-scale victory this week, I've been able to jog for the first time this week since I hurt my back in February earlier this year. I was able to incorporate a half-mile jog yesterday and today into my daily morning walk. It felt good to be able to move a little faster and be pain-free in my lower back. Also, scale has been kind to me the last couple of weeks. I'm hoping to continue the trend as we move into the fun summer 4th of July activities coming soon. Keeping up with inspiring content, John and Emily. I know it's difficult to keep up with everything each week, but your victories and tough times help make my weeks and my journey go by with a lot more joy.
Oh, yay! Thanks, Scott. Katie says I'm finally back under 140, which means I've lost 60 pounds this year. That's amazing. A non-scale victory. I've been really enjoying powerlifting lately and can officially deadlift 175 pounds, which is now 1.26 times my body weight. Wow.
Yes, that's a lot.
Congratulations. That's incredible. I can't even imagine. Wow.
Yeah. Victoria said, I had a wonderful holiday. Any activity was easier than it would have been 18 months ago.
Nice. She also said, I wore my posh new blouse on holiday and gained weight while away, but I have gotten straight back on course. That's awesome.
And Ingrid the Amazing, that's what I'm calling her. I beat my step count from last week, got over 40,000 steps in again.
Julie says I did over 100,000 steps last week. Wow. I also went on a trail hike and didn't get out of breath.
100,000 steps?
100,000 steps. Wow.
Wow. Latasha says, I started IF, 16-hour fast, 8-hour eating window last week, down 3.5 pounds. Looking forward to next week. Changed my weigh-in day specifically for Winning Wednesday.
Yay! Amy says intermittent fasting and walking each night is working well for me. This week I'm down 2 pounds. After 6 weeks, I've lost 9 pounds. I'll take it.
As well you should. Deborah says, I've been getting in more berries and greens. Berries and greens. I think I saw them open up for The Who in 74.
That sounds like what my favorite band would be, is Berries and Greens. I would love
greens.
Them.
Yeah. Also, I've laid off the coffee shops and been taking my own coffee to work with me.
Brendan, after listening to last week's episode, I've followed Emily's lead and changed when I'm eating. Last 4 days, I have been eating just one meal a day. Net result is that I'm down 4 pounds this week. Yay!
Stephanie says, bought a travel foam roller so I can roll out my legs and IT bands when not at home. I have a lot of leg, groin, and back pain, and this helps a lot. I put this off for a long time, but after a month on vacation and missing the benefits of this, I broke down and bought one. It was so cheap, why did I wait? I also bought a Tanita scale recently, and as of next week, I can participate in scale victories.
And Elizabeth says, down only 0.6 pounds, but I walked 4.7 miles this week.
Hey, 0.6 pounds is 0.6 pounds. I say that's a victory.
Congratulations, everyone.
Yes, absolutely. And we're getting more and more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but
we are.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah, we have another voicemail.
Here we go.
Hi, John and Emily. This is Tamara from California, and I'm calling with a Winning Wednesday. I weighed myself earlier this week, and then I weighed myself today, and so I saw that my weight went up a little bit. So my Winning Wednesday is that usually I would have gotten upset and probably ate the anger away, but I took a deep breath, reevaluated what I ate yesterday, and just told myself that there's no progress without the process. So my encouragement for anyone listening to the podcast is just take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, and little things add up to big results. So you guys have an awesome day, and I can't wait to hear your next podcast. Bye.
Yeah, how about that? And
Tamara Aspiration.
And I'm sure you're listening and saying, boy, how could I call in? Well, the Hate to Wait voicemail line is 760-WINNING. Call in now.
Oh, I love it. I love it. 760, by the way. It's somewhere in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I looked it up because so with Google Voice, when you set that up, it'll actually ask you, oh, are there any numbers or area codes you want to use? And I just started putting in words that we use in our group that had 7 letters. And I found that a lovely city in California has that area code and that number free. So
Very cool.
we also have an email. Did you get to read it, John?
I did read it. I didn't understand it.
Okay.
So
All right. So I want to thank Max who wrote to us. Maxwell, thank you for writing to us. Hey guys, I just enjoyed your latest podcast. It was great. You guys have great energy. A bit of feedback on your winning concept. It's a bit misleading and not relatable. Besides, that hashtag Winning Wednesdays links to a bunch of window tinting videos. You might lose your core audience with this. Have you considered fasting or veggies or health or energy for your hashtag and phone number or something along those lines? Feast or famine and boredom eating. Emily, you're bringing up some childhood memories for me too. Maxwell, thank you for this email. So with Winning Wednesdays, the hashtag, it's not necessarily for anything outside of our group. And the reason I have the hashtag Winning Wednesdays is so when that post pops up in the Facebook group, that's a link. So if you click on it, if you've been contributing to Winning Wednesdays week after week, you can actually go back and look at all those Winning Wednesdays. As you click it, it'll bring up all the other Winning Wednesdays. And you can go back and look at your progress. This was actually something I did intentionally in the website, in the Facebook group, I mean, where you can click on that and you would be able to see that. So it's really a group thing for Winning Wednesdays. And so that's kind of my feedback. Please let me know what you think. And listeners as well, I'd love to know what you think about the Winning Wednesdays. I could always change the phone number, but we have such a great jingle now.
I'm not changing it. Yeah, no. And the other thing is, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that you could click on the hashtag Winning Wednesday and check that out. I had no idea. Emily working behind the scenes to make things easier.
I know, but then I don't tell anybody. So it's like, Emily, come on, tell people this.
These are little Easter eggs that you find out as we go along. All right. So Scott in the group put this thing in there. He had a picture and he has almond milk, unsweetened vanilla, protein powder, a little Greek yogurt. And I just hit the thing and now I lost everything. Damn it. How did I do that?
And PB2. He had PB2, which is...
That's what I wanted to ask about. The
Yes.
PD2. Okay.
PB. It's peanut butter powder, and it's lower in calories, and it's delicious. It's really good.
So that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's peanut butter powder.
I have to go check that out.
Be careful, though, because I think some varieties, if not all, are sweetened in some way.
Okay.
But I'll get them in my smoothies sometimes. They have it at Smoothie King, which is my favorite smoothie place. They'll put it in, and it gives it the taste of peanut butter without the texture, because you don't necessarily want that stickiness in your smoothie.
I'm weird about peanut butter.
Yeah.
I can eat peanut butter right out of the jar with a spoon. I like it that way. But I don't like peanut butter flavored things. Am I weird or what?
Well, this is actually made from peanuts. That's why it's good, and that's why I like it. It's made from peanuts, but there are peanut butter flavored things that it's like, this is not a natural flavor. Nothing should taste like this in nature.
Well, yeah, like I wouldn't eat anything that had peanut butter like in a pie or peanut butter cheesecake or anything. Peanut butters to me is, now I sound like Lisa from I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam. I'm a peanut butter purist.
Peanut butter purist.
All right, but I love when people put stuff in there because I didn't even think about maybe making a protein shake like that. That's a great idea, and I love I have to get into that more because I'm going to need to soon.
You're going to need... Is it in all liquid diet? Do they not care as long as it's liquid?
I don't know. I don't know enough to know.
I want to know this because, so when I add peanut butter to my smoothies and it's PB2, it still adds about 280 calories, which is good because if I'm using a smoothie and it's I use it for my lunch sometimes, I want those extra calories. And especially if it's peanut butter where there's some healthy fat in there as well. Although I think with PB2, the fat content is taken out a little bit, but I'd have to check.
Wait a minute. And here, I got to do something. And I apologize because I did not. Someone was in the group and they asked me a question. I didn't answer it in the group because I was going to wait for the podcast.
Okay.
And I can't find the post now.
We have so much feedback this week. I'm so excited. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. And I should have marked it because, I sit there and I say to myself, oh, I'll just know exactly where to go to get that.
Yeah.
And I don't see it. So now whoever put this in the Facebook group, I apologize because I can't find your name because I'm stupid, and I apologize. But she went in and she asked about, me going through the surgery, and did I get a chance to see a therapist yet? And I have not, but I have an appointment. And I'm a little nervous about this appointment because you know me. I'm going in barrels blazing. I'm like, okay, tell me why that when I do this, that I'm not going to lose my mind and hurt myself afterwards. I'm excited to go and nervous to go at the same time. But thank you for asking. And instead of typing that out, I really wanted to answer it in the group because I love the group. And sometimes I don't get a chance to get in there as much as I want to and answer everybody's post, but I do read everything. I go in and I look and I do read everything. So thank you so much for that. Okay, now it's time.
It's time.
Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for The Weigh-In.
And since this is episode 58 and it's an even number and John has 4 letters, which is even, it's my turn to go first. So I'm going to preface this by saying when I weighed in on Sunday, I was down 1.5 pounds from the last time. Okay. So I was like, okay, that's good. Then I didn't take the water pill and I feel bloated. And I got on the scale today and I'm up 5 pounds from last week.
Wow. And that's the whooshy pill.
And that's the whooshy pill effect. Now, I know there's no way that I ate enough to gain 5 pounds no, that would be 6.5 pounds. But I do feel like I have a gallon of fluid on me, between my legs and everything. So this is an issue and I don't know what to do about it right now. Now I know people are just going to say, take the pill when you're done and just, I don't know, pee all afternoon. Take your pill and pee all afternoon. So, and I know I'm going to get a talking to from a certain Canadian tonight when she watches the show and then afterwards she tells me, so I'm going to get a talking to, but she's right. So I know, Sam, I know. But that's what happened with me. So I didn't freak. Well, I'm not lying. When I got off the scale, I was like, damn it. What? I felt like I should have had at least another 2 pound loss.
Yeah.
So here we are. But I'm not going to lie. I don't do that. So 5 pounds. So, hey, look, if I get this under control next week, look, I could have a really good bring it back down moment. So we'll see what happens.
That's such a great way to look at it. Oh, my goodness. I just want to compare this episode and you gaining 5 pounds to maybe a year ago when you gained 5 pounds. Oh. You are so much more optimistic now. I love it. Well, and you should be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to some podcasts. I listen to this, the one show, which is an eating disorder, and they do not like this intermittent fasting at all.
Oh, really?
They do not like it. They say you're depriving your body of food, and I'm
My body has so many calories now. It has so much more than.
See, there's people that don't. I think there's people that can handle this, but with my problem is I have an eating disorder.
Yeah.
And whenever I've tried to diet before, the diet would just feed this monster until it was like Godzilla and it would roar and take off and destroy a town. I'm not doing that this time. When I see these things happen, I kind of step back and say, okay, well, we're going to have to try something different. And, again, everything is a little adjustments for what's going on. And I'm not giving up. So, and then when I know, and just like last week when we talked about the eating disorder and, why do we come in to say, oh, I had a binge. Why can't I say I want to have a binge? Because we don't want to be talked out of it. We know we could be talked out of it by a sane person in about 30 seconds. We don't want to. So, and just knowing that means that now whenever I get into that situation, I make a phone call to anybody and talk to them for like 15 minutes and that goes away.
Yeah. I'm noticing that too. I'm noticing that the voice inside of me that's questioning things more and saying, is louder and saying, is this something that contributes to the long-term goals that you have? If it's not, what is it trying to do right now? What are you using it for right now? And being able to sit back and actually look at the emotion behind the choices that I'm about to make.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, the science is in that if you're, obese like I am, I have an insulin resistance problem. And the way to fix that is through fasting. I mean, it's a fight. I'm not lying. It's a fist fight. It's like a 2-on-1. I have the weight loss and this eating disorder, which I'm battling. And with the help of everybody in this group, you included, and the people in my life, at least I'm not getting worse, which is a win for me.
You're getting so optimistic. If nothing else, your mindset has completely changed from last year. You're so much more optimistic. And maybe it's because you know now that you have a surgery coming up, that you have the surgery coming up. But maybe it's also because you've been practicing for, what are we on, 58 weeks?
Yeah. Yes. I'll get it right sooner or later. Yes. All right. Now.
Yeah. So I am down 3 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
That gets a
Doo-doo.
also.
Doo-doo.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Sorry for bringing the number up.
No.
If I was just
it's-
flat, we would have been, darn it.
No,
Okay.
it's okay. It's totally okay. No, it's
I got it.
fine.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're going to go down again next week.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We'll be fine.
So I just got to figure out when to take this stupid pill. I promise I will take it as soon as I get done the live show today at 2 o'clock.
I will tell you what, next week, as long as you have taken your whooshy pill, you get a doot-doot.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
You who's in charge of the soundboard. John, give John a doot-doot. Post-haste.
I know. We've been running long here, so I am going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening to Hate to Wait. For more information, you can visit hatetowait.com for show notes, links, and everything we've talked about in this episode. And if you'd like to join us on our journey, come be part of the Hate to Wait discussion group on Facebook by going to hatetowait.com/Facebook. And if you'd like to call in, we now have a voicemail. That's 760 Call in now. There we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back here next week. Bye.
Bye.